Hey guys, the American Psychedelic back with another video titled A Bodacious Night. Setting: summer house party of university. College age people, around 30 to 40 people, most on psychedelics, some drunk, some both. Duration 12 hours. Coming up was gradual, started at about T 45 minutes, which began with a psychedelic mind state. Shortly after, queasiness set in. It was hard to handle, actually. It was a burning sensation in my stomach. I spent a while lying on a couch, then felt like the need to vomit. Spending a few minutes in the washroom, I tried to vomit, but nothing would come out. And around this time, I could hear people at the party yelling that the candles could be lit, and that they need to find me. It was my birthday a few days prior, but I had no idea the people at this party made arrangements to celebrate it. The uncomfortable feeling in my stomach and the psychedelic mindset strong at this point did not permit this to be a good timing to blow out candles, especially since all this was a surprise. After psyching myself up a bit, I left the washroom and was greeted by a massive, colorful homemade cake. Blowing the candles out, I declined on eating cake just yet due to stomach pain, but thanks my friend very much for the loving gesture. At about this point, 1.5 hours in, the visuals developed. They were fairly intense, colorful, and focused on objects warping and blurring. Strong sieves as well. I also found myself much more sensitive to sound, moving to the quietest rooms of the party wherever the present setting became too loud for me. The mindset was also very interesting. I felt a lot of insight of what was going on in my life and spent a lot of time coming to interesting conclusions about my life, the world around me, abstract concepts, my friends, etc. Since the mindset and visuals were a powerful experience, I found myself not being very talkative throughout the night. This drug was also wonderfully harmonious. I found everything to be a lot more hilarious than otherwise. I spent a long time listening and laughing while one of my friends who was drunk and also on a bod going on a very long rant about silly things, and even in serious matters made highly amusing by how he was conveying the topics. On that note, said friend inflated his dose of bod and found it was very painful, worse than 2 CE according to him. At around T 5 hours, I inhaled a small balloon of nitrous oxide to complete my experience. My mind felt spacier as expected, but the sensory experience became much more intense. The visuals, in addition to what I was already seeing, were composed of all the objects and people in view suddenly gaining several sharp, dark, contoured lines around them. These contoured lines, along with the object person, would pulse madly. Sounds became much more echoed. I felt like I was shrinking and spiraling into a dark, deep corner of myself. Truthfully, for a moment I felt like I was experiencing may have been too intense to handle, but the feeling passed quickly, and the different visuals and sinking sensation became much more manageable. By T 8 hours, the visuals and mindset became a very steadily and slow decline that would have lasted for another 4 hours. The decline was occasionally be broken by a small spike of returning psychedelic feelings, but then would fade shortly after. I spent a while trying to encourage some friends to leave with me, since we all had a long commute in the same direction back to our homes, but eventually became lazy and relaxed on the bed with a few others, unable to sleep. At about T 12 hours, I take a friend's ride along with my boyfriend, heading back in the direction of my home. By this point, I would say that my high was entirely over, except for some lingering after effects that persisted until I returned to my boyfriend's house and crashed. T 16 hours perhaps. All in all, I enjoyed the substance very much and would definitely do it again, although not anytime soon. The initial stomach pain and the hilarity reminded me of 2 CB, while the mindset and duration reminded me of LSD. The visuals were pretty unique, and I enjoyed how it combines a deeper mind experience with light-hearted fun, 2 things I love most about a substance.